right. It is actually a different day. It's just the same shirt. Felt so nice, I had to wear it twice. Anyways, so there you have it. I guess in a manner I did call it, right? I feel like the 620 at this point now, it has, because I've ported it, I feel like the 620 has more torque. But I've been saying I think that the 400 has more RPMs. And in smaller wood, I bet you the 400 will take it. And it did. It did, but I mean, barely. But it still is what it is. But with the long stroke of that 620, it has so much torque, but it carries it all down in a lower RPM range. And so that's why it's so enjoyable to run. Is it the fastest thing out there? Absolutely not. Like Charlie Briscoe, I was talking with him. He goes back to it again and again. His 620 is probably the most enjoyable firewood saw that he has, and it's just because of the way it feels. And it does, you just put it on, and it eats. It doesn't get stopped. And that's another thing that needs to be brought up too. I don't think anybody ever has said anything about it. Is that 590 and 620 has a great clutch. That clutch rarely ever slips, and the saw just keeps going. So that that 400, the clutch will slip on it a lot easier, and the saw itself will bog. But anyways, the 620 loses to the 400 with a 20-inch bar on it, and that's the way it goes. That's it, I mean, but I do remember I did the video where I was saying that the 620 would humiliate that 400, just humiliate it. Well, that's the way it feels. That's the way it feels. It feels like, holy crap, this thing just doesn't stop. But in reality, it's turning a lower RPM and it's not cutting as fast. So, but I mean, it's minuscule, the difference, and especially whenever you consider there are a lot of people that are still you guys tell me all the time, I bought mine just the other day and I got it for $620. A full Echo 620. Hey, I never even thought of that before. A 620 for $620. That works. So, but a brand new full 620 PW for $620. That's a dang good deal. That is a really, really good deal. But this one has been ported. It does have a good, proper muffler mod, not just a simple drill. A lot of people will just drill out the hole that is there. I cleared that entire muffler out. And so it has no restrictions in it whatsoever, really. And but the 400 is still faster. The 400 is also still lighter. The 400 also, it does feel better to cut with as long as you got, as long as it's not being bogged down in wood that's too big for it. So, but what I am fixing to do right now after this video, because this has been very interesting. I mean, I know that you guys have liked it. I think a lot of you have said you liked it. Good job. You liked the video, blah, blah, blah. And so you like this, you like the testing of these saws that are really kind of in the same ballpark with each other, even though this 620 gives up a lot of cc's to the 268 Husqvarna and the 400 Stihl. It's still, they're all making extremely similar power, and we're all good to go with that. Now, the amount of money that I have in these saws at this point right now, my Dire Wolf, I have about $700 in it. And that's, honestly, that's not counting the full wrap handle. So I got about $800 in that, and I ported and polished it myself. Now that's because of the way I went about it. I took a 590 and slowly over the course of a year, I integrated the 620 parts just as a project and, to go further and further, right? And, this is for the channel and stuff. And look, this is how you do it. This is how you build up to a good professional saw over time. But as it is, the wrap handle was not necessary at all. And so that's why I don't really count it. That's just an aesthetic thing, really. I like the way it looks. And so I don't really count it. Like I don't count how much it cost me to dye the plastics, So I've got essentially $700 in the Dire Wolf. The Stihl, now with a 20-inch bar, it was right at $1,000. But I did buy it with a 25-inch bar, which means it was $1,100. And this is out the door after taxes and everything. But had I bought it with the 20-inch bar that I now run on it, it would have been a $1,000 saw. So $700 in the Echo, plus a port job. Now, a lot of you guys don't have the luxury of being capable of porting a saw, especially not being able to machine the base like I can. And a lot of builders, not special me, I have a lathe. But I was able to do a good port job on that saw, and a good port job is going to cost you $300. Some people will charge $350, and some people will charge $250. But usually $250 doesn't include this. Usually, and this is just my experience from what I can see. Usually, if you're charging $250, then you're not doing the machine work. That's been my experience. But in order to get this cylinder to perform like this, the 620 cylinder, you need to be able to cut that base. If you're just simply going in there and lowering the intake and raising the exhaust, you will not get this kind of gains. Anyways, so rightfully, it is fair to say that with all of the upgrades, that was $700 that I have in this saw, and then a $300 port job on top of it. So this Echo is a $1,000 saw. Whenever you look at it like that, it's like, yeah, I would much rather have the Stihl at that point. But the Stihl has some drawbacks. It has some drawbacks for sure. I definitely feel confident that it won't be as good at pulling a longer bar as that Echo is. Again, I could be full of shit on this one too, but honestly, I should probably just say that power-wise, there's just a hair difference between the two of them. And it's going to go for preference. What do you like better? You like the Stihl better, or you like the Echo better? Which do I like better? I like the Echo better. Yeah. It feels more comfortable with a 22-inch bar than the Stihl would. So I like the Echo better. I do. Not by much. I mean, I don't know. That Stihl, a pound is a lot. They're a pound different in the weight. But I don't know. The Stihl has that plastic handle on it. I would have to upgrade that, and damn it, talk about expensive there. To upgrade to an aluminum full wrap handle for that Stihl, it's like $260. And then your $1,000 saw turns into $1,260. And so little things like that happen. Now, I'm speaking from the luxury of having both saws. Which one do I like better? It's really a hard choice because they are different saws and they both have their strong suits and they both have their disadvantages. But if I had neither one of these saws and I know what I know and I wanted one of them as my 67-ish cc saw, I'd pick the Echo. Yeah, I'd pick the Echo because if I hadn't done it the way that I did it, I would be able to buy that saw brand new with a full wrap handle and everything for like $620, $650. And whenever you look at it like that, holy crap, that is a much better deal than the Stihl. So I would definitely choose the Echo over the Stihl. Now, if money is not an object, if you don't have a good Echo dealer, if you do have a good Stihl dealer, because those things are all over the place, I'd pick the Stihl. They're both great saws. They really are. But they just go about, they're aimed at different markets, really. The 620 is kind of a catch-all, do-all. It's like a general purpose. You can run it with a 20-inch bar. You can run it with a 28-inch bar. It will do it. I don't recommend it, but, you can put a 36-inch bar on it in those moments where you just got to get through something. But, you can do that to about anything. I definitely still got to say, for me and my wood that I'm cutting almost nothing but oak. Even at this point, I wouldn't put more than a 28-inch bar on it. Yeah, it'll pull bigger. You've seen it. I've done it with this saw. It'll pull bigger. There's another thing that I've got to bring up too. So that Stihl now has almost 9 tanks of gas in it. It is on its 8th tank, about to go empty. When I did this video, it's broken in. I mean, if it ain't completely broken in, and it's been a hard 9 tanks. I've been hard on that saw. I'm not just limbing with it. I've been doing a lot of ripping cuts with it and stuff, and so it's broken in. That Echo, it needs to be said, in filming this video with that Echo, right before the cuts that you see, I ran out of gas on my first tank of fuel. And we all know that these Echoes take a good 8 to 10 tanks to break in. They run like crap in the beginning. And so that really needs to be brought to everyone's attention. It's like they were so close. These two saws were so close. Will the Echo beat it once it is broken in? Very possible. Very possible. It's an impressive saw, and it's a good pork job, on top of that. So, anyways, this little series of these saws, these 3 saws that I've been messing with, the 268, the 620, and the 400, I like it. And now what I'm fixing to do is, after I upload this video, I'm going down to my garage and I'm going to do a muffler mod on that 268. Because I bet you a simple muffler mod on that 268 makes it beat both of these saws. Nah. We'll see. We will. But that will really put a lot of stuff into perspective. Because so many people talk about how crazy fast the 400 is. They do that with the 500 as well. The 500i? Oh, wow! It feels remarkably fast, and it is, but then you put it up against its competitors, and it's like, well, it's not that much faster. Like the 500i got beat by the 7910 Dolmar. On all it had was the little screen, and the muffler was removed on that Dolmar. That was it, and it got beat by it. Actually, I think that's a Makita, but it's the same saw. You get it. So like if we can actually do a muffler mod on that 268 and it actually ties or beats that MS400, then that's real comparison stuff, you know, because people know what a 268 is and does. And if it can beat the 400 with just simply a muffler mod, then the aura that is surrounding the 400 just fades away. And you go, huh, it really ain't that special, is it? Because at that point, you've got a 30-plus-year-old saw. All it needs is a simple muffler mod, and it outperforms the 400. Yeah, it's a little bit heavier, but is it lower in quality? Absolutely not. That 268, as long as you tune it right, that thing's going to probably outlast that MS400. You know, it's been my experience that all of the Strato, X-Torque, stratified saws, they run hot. So unless you modify them and open up that exhaust and everything, it, you know, stock for stock, a 268 will outlast it, you know. But anyways, that's enough for this video, and I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get working on that muffler mod, and we're going to see if we can, with just a simple muffler mod, make that Husqvarna 268 outperform both of these saws. We'll see.